The expression, you're only as good as the company you keep. Well, the same can be said for a painting, whose beauty is magnified when fit with a frame that perfectly suits it. Noted frame dealer and restorer Eli Wilner gave us a behind-the-scenes look at the incredibly interesting and intricate process involved in building a magnificent frame, including one that weighs, are you ready, 3,000 pounds. Take a look. Eli Wilner and Company is one of the premier North American art galleries for antique frame restoration and replication. Housed in a three-story brownstone on New York's Upper East Side, the company has a vast client list, including the Smithsonian, Christie's, and the White House.
Edward Manet said that without the proper frame, the artist loses 100%. Degas said that the frame is the reward for the artist. And I live by those two quotes. I like to think of pleasing the painting rather than pleasing the client, because once the painting is pleased, the client's always happy. This is a lithograph by Ralston Crawford, an artist from the 1930s. This is the frame it came in. It flattens it out. It makes it look more like a poster. But when we put it in a period frame, it just resonates. It all of a sudden made it into a work of art.
A new trend, and one that the Wilner Company is very involved in, is the framing of flat-screen TVs to make the television fit into the decoration of beautiful rooms, a task that has been perfected by studio manager Myron Moore.
In replicating a frame, the first step is to recreate the exact shape and profile of the molding. Profile gauge is a tool that's used to make a perfect negative of the contour.
Basswood is then gathered from a humidity-controlled storage room.
For any frame that's gilded, we use basswood, or wood from the linden tree. It's a relatively soft wood, it carves beautifully, and it does not warp with changes in humidity.
The wood is then cut to the appropriate size and fed into a planer to achieve a consistent thickness.
Once the four sides of the profile have been shaped, the frame is next glued and nailed.
A liquid plaster coating called gesso is then applied to the raw frame.
Gesso creates a hard, perfectly smooth surface. When gold is later applied to it, it will look absolutely smooth as if it were a solid metal.
To create the applied ornaments, powdered cement is mixed with water and plaster, then poured into precise silicone molds and set to dry. The ornament is then removed from the mold and affixed to the frame with a rabbit skin glue.
Next step in the process is an application of bowl or colored clay. In this case, we're using both yellow and red clay. It covers the entire frame and will help to mask minor imperfections in the recesses of the ornaments.
Once the bowl has dried, a blend of water, hide glue, and alcohol known as Gilder's liquor is applied to the frame and immediately followed by the gold leaf.
You almost have to find someone who's born with a knack for laying gold leaf. It's a very delicate process. The leaf is really not being pushed onto the surface. It's being brought just close enough so that the moisture of the surface draws it on. Normally you'll lay several leaves and then you'll press the leaf into the crevices, recesses, places where the leaf did not immediately make contact. The gold is extremely thin. It's 1/200,000th of an inch thick.
Burnishing the leaf is the next step.
Burnishing involves rubbing the frame with a polished agate stone, creating a perfectly smooth surface that will resemble solid gold. The gold, when it's rubbed with the agate, does not change. It's the bowl that's underneath the gold that is polished.
Next, the frame must be patinated.
Patination is a very general term for recreating the effects of age on a frame. We use a wide range of different types of paints, stains, dyes. Every frame is going to be different. When the patination is complete, it's as simple as screwing in the television and you're good to go.
Eli Wilner and Company has completed over 7,500 projects since 1983. The company is now in the midst of their most ambitious project to date, the recreation of the original frame for one of America's most famous paintings, Emanuel Lewitz's Washington Crossing the Delaware. The discovery of a Matthew Brady photograph from an 1864 exhibition provided the challenge Eli was waiting for.
This is my dream project.
The finished frame will be 21 feet wide by 12 feet high, weigh over 3,000 pounds, require more than 12,500 sheets of gold leaf, and feature a 12-foot wide American eagle crest at the top. Each of the 4 frame corners features a hand-carved wooden crest, with details meticulously recreated by hand. The entire project is set for completion by late 2010.
The painting's iconic, and it's an honor to be able to display it as it should be shown.
That frame is probably the most complex, most intricate, most important frame that ever existed, certainly in American frame making. Framing the Leutze for the Met is a life-changing project for me.
Eli is in our audience, and that is an incredible, incredible commission, Eli. How long altogether will it take to finish?
This will be completed after about a year's worth of work.
And so if I had a painting that large and I wanted a frame like that, how much would I have to pay? Can you,
anywhere
estimate?
Anywhere from $500,000 to $700,000.
Wow, that's really something. And how many artisans altogether worked on that frame, or are still working?
About 12 of my staff of 30 are continually working on the frame.
And are they must just love it.
They just love it.
Well, congratulations. And the Metropolitan Museum will be an even more beautiful place with the addition of that fantastic painting.
Thank you,
and
Martha.
frame.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'll be first in line at the Met to see the completed project.